Recap in minutes. Today we will be going through a crime, drama, and thriller movie of 2019 named 21 Bridges. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. The movie begins with a sermon from a reverend in a local church in Manhattan. A young boy was sitting with his relatives and mourning his father's death there. The reverend praised his deceased father, who had been killed in action by 3 perpetrators. This 13-year-old, Andre Davis, was sadly looking at his father's coffin in the church. 19 years later, he also became a detective in the New York Police Department like his father, and earned the reputation of killing the most dangerous cop killers in his career. That day he was being investigated in his latest shooting of 4 deadly cop killers. He justified himself by saying that the Justice Department had already cleared him of his missions, and shooting the killers on the spot. After convincing the team of investigators of internal affairs at the office, he comes home to take care of his mother Vanetta Davis, who was a dementia patient. The scene shifts to 2 criminals, Ray and Michael, holding a wine shop owner at gunpoint to give them his stored 30 kilograms of cocaine. When they beat him, he gives them the key to the freezer, where the stuff is hidden. When they go there, they get shocked to see the number of cocaine packets. It was actually 300 kilograms, 10 times more than their expectation. Both of them get excited finding the jackpot. Because they cannot take the whole cocaine with them, Michael asks Ray to walk away from there at that moment. He makes him realize that they are not equipped to carry that much weight, and do not have enough time to pack them in their car. But Ray begins filling his bag with as many packets of cocaine as he can. Suddenly they hear a knock on the door. There were some police officers at the door who came there to have drinks. When the owner does not go to open the door, they begin inspecting the interior of the shop. Eventually, they find out that a robbery is going on there. The officers break the door and get inside. Ray opens fire on them and starts killing them one by one. When they call for backup, they kill them too with their automatic weapons. They run from there with the cocaine afterward. In the next scene, Andre calls upon the crime scene. Captain Matt briefs him on the robbery and murders by the killers. Andre offers his condolences to him and his team. He asks them to move from there and let him work. There Matt and Andre argue on the system of internal affairs meddling in the matters of cop killers. He implores Andre to take the killers down to justice. He insists on killing them, whatever it takes. When they go to inspect the volume of the cocaine, Captain Matt introduces him to Detective Frankie Burns. He also directs him to work alongside her. When he asks him to let him work alone, he explains to him that the volume of the cocaine attracted the narcotics department, so they sent her here to investigate. He tells him that it is not optional for him to work alone. He agrees eventually and starts his investigation. Andre explains to them with his experience that the robbers were not prepared for 300 kilograms of drugs. He tells them that there were only 2 robbers in their small car. Frankie tells him that they took only 50 kilos. Meanwhile, Andre gets a call from the Lower Manhattan Security Initiatives Department. Sergeant Yolanda receives a picture of the black BMW violating the red light on a road. She forwards it to Andre. At that moment when they were in the middle of their assessments, the FBI arrived there. They assume the jurisdiction of the crime scene, and ask Captain Matt and his men to work under their orders. Andre and Matt strongly oppose them. Now Andre talks to them with his calculations. He said he would not stay in Brooklyn and was waiting for the news of the robbers fleeing the island. He makes them realize that he suspects the robber cannot move that load soon. Andre explains to them that drugs will be sold somewhere on the island of Manhattan before sunrise. The scene shifts to the robbers. They stop in an isolated street where Michael reprimands Ray for killing multiple police officers. He kept saying that they would now be fugitives for the rest of their lives. Meantime, their contractor Bush arrives there and asks for a significant cut from the deal. He assures them to help them get out of Manhattan. Michael holds him at gunpoint and suspects him of the setup to get them captured at the wine shop. He threatens him to take them to his primary buyer Hawk. He says he cannot change the deal. But Michael says the deal is already changed with 20 kilos more in the car. When they agree, they burn their car in the street. Meanwhile, Andre was explaining his assessments to the FBI officers. Suddenly a police officer calls his name, and tells him that there is a report of the burning of a black BMW 2-door in the Chinatown of Manhattan. He asks the FBI to lock down the island of Manhattan completely. The FBI officers agree to lock down the island, but with one condition: that the suspects are caught no later than 5 a.m. Now they lock down all 21 bridges of the island until 5 a.m. They also close all the transportation routes in and out of the island. They start patrolling the rivers, blocking the tunnels, and closing the subway and train stations. In the next scene, Bush takes Michael and Ray to the main buyer Hawk. He asks them about their demand and laughs when they say $1 million. Michael explains to him that the 50 kilos become 200 grands. The average street value is 32 grand per unit, which amounts to approximately $6.5 million total, making $1 million a reasonable amount to ask. Hawk agrees to the deal and refers them to Adi, their money launderer. He can launder the money via his offshore accounts to Switzerland, and supply them with new identities and the necessary travel documents. While on the other hand, Andre and his team go to the burning car, and the vehicle registration gets tracked to Bush's ex-girlfriend Lee. They all go to Lee's apartment. Although she hasn't seen Bush since they broke up, she identifies Ray from the traffic cam photos. She tells him that Ray has a troubled youth, who enlisted in the army with his good friend and Michael's older brother, Arvel. Now she started talking about Michael. On the other hand, she said, he grew up a smart kid with a bright future. When Arvel was killed serving in Afghanistan, Michael dropped out of college and joined the army, but he was dishonorably discharged when he fought with his senior sergeant. After getting this information, Andre leaves her in her apartment. In the next scene, Michael and Ray go to Adi's apartment, where they watch news channels and find out that the police have recognized them. Soon they learn that the island has been locked down. At the same time, Bush shows up at a bar to meet his new girlfriend, who the police have already followed. But when Andre and Frankie can get there, a sergeant approaches Bush and kills him instantly at the main bar. Andre confronts the sergeant about the shooting, and punches him in the face for doing so. Back at Adi's apartment, Adi transfers money to offshore accounts under the fictitious names of Ray and Michael. He instructs them to travel by bus to Miami. Suddenly they hear a knock on the door. There were police outside, led by Lieutenant Kelly. They break down Adi's steel door. Adi is mortally wounded in the ensuing gunfight, so before dying, he gives Michael 2 flash drives from his computer and the corresponding password. Andre makes his way there from the lounge, and arrives just in time and finds Michael and Ray, who were running on the street out of Adi's apartment. Ray gets shot in the exchange of firing. He insists that he and Michael should split up, because staying together will make them too easy to track. Andre follows him while Frankie starts following Michael. Too injured to continue running, Ray anxiously sits in a doorway, where he mistakenly shoots another man before Andre takes him out. Michael hides amongst the frozen meat carcasses and disarms Frankie using the butt of his gun, then uses her as a shield as he holds her at gunpoint. Frankie insists Andre take the shot. But Andre refuses and instead tries to talk to Michael. He references Michael's service record, mentioning that he tried to follow his brother Arvel's example, and recognizes that all of the killings thus far have been Ray's doing. When they both talk, Michael points out a series of suspicious events. He kept saying that at the wine shop, the worker checked his watch just before the police showed up, and they knocked quietly on the door, which wouldn't occur when responding to a robbery call. And then Adi gave him drives before dying. After that, Michael retreats through the metal door, releases Frankie, and runs away. He goes to the nearby hotel where he holds a guest hostage in his room and uses his laptop. Michael uses the password Adi gave him, and sees that the policemen of the 85th precinct have been involved in trafficking drugs, as the files denote each corrupt officer by their badge number. Michael changes his appearance with a fresh shave and walks out. He reroutes through the kitchen but gets identified there. Michael runs, hearing the sirens coming close, and eventually Andre reaches him. They fall due to a police car, but Michael gets up in haste, leaving his bag of money behind, and is saved from a gunshot when Andre intervenes. He continues running and reaches a subway station, where the trains have restarted their operations after 5 a.m. Andre follows him on the train and finds him hidden in a corner. A standoff ensues between Andre and Michael, and he convinces him to give himself up to him after promising to keep him alive. Just as he lowers his weapon and surrenders, Michael is shot from behind by Frankie, who claims she thought Andre was in danger. Michael whispers the password to Andre and hands over the flash drives. When they come back, Andre becomes more suspicious of Frankie than ever. He borrows Frankie's phone and discovers she had called Lieutenant Kelly, just before Adi's apartment was raided. It was the same lieutenant who raided. In the morning, Captain Matt returns home to find Andre waiting for him with a gun in his hand. Andre tells him that he knows that the 85th precinct has been acting as armed security for a high-level drug dealer. He tells him that the previous night's case was simply a bit of bad luck when the wine shop got robbed. Adi was easy to find because he was the same cleaner that Matt used to wash his illegally earned cash from the drugs. Matt replies that it was never about money, it was about meager wages for a job costing officers their lives. Having grown up in a police family and experienced firsthand the loss of his father, the words hit Andre, yet he refuses to leave the case. Just then some officers from the 85th are spotted moving outside the house. Just before they open fire, Andre kills all of them, including Matt, who refuses to give himself up, even after sustaining serious injuries. Frankie arrives from behind and holds Andre at gunpoint, showing him the flash drives and telling him that he cannot do anything now. Now Andre replies to her that it's already over. He says the drives have been copied and sent to the police department. Therefore killing him would mean nothing but imprisonment for life. She lowers her gun and surrenders her badge, allowing herself to be taken into custody. The movie ends when Andre is shown driving across the Manhattan Bridge, with the bloodstained UBSs in his car. Thanks for watching. Subscribe recap in minutes for more videos like this, and to help the channel grow.